At 93, Michael Caine reveals the 5 people he loved the most. People always ask Michael Caine who the greatest actors were. But that's the wrong question. The answer that stayed with me wasn't about talent at all. It was about love, about the 5 people who made one of Hollywood's longest careers feel less lonely. And honestly, I didn't expect some of the names or the reasons behind them. When you've spent more than 70 years making movies, you stop measuring life by Oscars. You measure it by people. Michael Caine has worked with legends most actors only read about. He's shared sets with kings of cinema, had dinner with icons, laughed backstage with people whose faces filled movie screens around the world. But when someone recently asked him which 5 people meant the most to him, he didn't start listing awards or box office numbers. He started remembering conversations. That's what surprised me. At 93, he wasn't talking about fame anymore. He was talking about kindness, loyalty, the people who made long shooting days feel shorter. And the first name came almost instantly, Sean Connery. I don't think anyone who knew Michael would be shocked by that. The 2 men came from similar worlds, working-class boys from Britain who somehow ended up conquering Hollywood. To everyone else, Sean Connery was James Bond. To Michael, he was simply Sean. He often said that people expected Sean to be intimidating. They expected the deep voice, the confidence, the larger-than-life personality. Instead, they'd find someone making jokes before anyone else could. That image always makes me Roger Moore. Now here's the interesting part. Sean and Roger couldn't have been more different on screen, but Michael adored them both. Roger had a gift that couldn't be taught. He knew how to make people relax. Every film set has tension. Schedules fall apart. Scenes refuse to work. People become exhausted. According to Michael, Roger could walk into that atmosphere, crack one joke, tell one story, and suddenly everyone breathed again. Not because he was trying to steal attention, because he genuinely wanted everyone else to enjoy themselves. That says a lot. Laurence Olivier. Imagine being a young actor standing opposite someone you've admired your entire life. Michael admitted he was terrified. How could he not be? Olivier wasn't simply famous. He was considered one of the greatest actors who had ever lived. Michael expected distance, maybe even arrogance. Instead, Olivier greeted him like an old colleague. That immediately changed everything. There's something beautiful about that. The truly great people rarely need to remind anyone how great they are. Michael watched Olivier work every day. One lesson stayed with him forever. John Wayne. As a young man, Michael would have laughed if someone had told him he'd one day become friends with the Duke himself. John Wayne wasn't simply a movie star. He was an American symbol. His walk, his voice, his presence. Everything about him had become legendary. Naturally, Michael expected someone larger than life. Instead, he found someone surprisingly quiet. John didn't speak unless he had something worth saying. Michael liked that immediately. The conversations they shared weren't really about westerns. They were about getting older, about children, about fame, about how strange life becomes after decades in front of cameras. That surprised Michael. People assume actors spend all day discussing acting. Apparently, they usually prefer talking about almost anything else. Michael admired John's steadiness. He never seemed interested in performing toughness. He simply knew who he was. There's a huge difference. Some celebrities spend their whole lives protecting an image. John didn't seem to need one. Michael respected that. When John Wayne passed away, Michael realized another era of Hollywood had